Fat Quarter Shop FlossTube. I'm so excited because this week we're going to unveil a brand new Lori Holt cross stitch pattern. It does go along with one of her quilt patterns. I'm going to show you some stitch along progress. I'm going to show you a little bit of new stuff, and then I'm going to show you a bunch of pictures of my kids. So I haven't done that in a while. So we're going to jump right into Lori's, and Jordan's going to show you a picture of it. If you go back 3 FlossTubes, I showed it to you in person. It is now on its way to Chicago because in a week and a half there is going to be a show called the H&H Show, and Lori is going to have a booth with her cross stitch, her crochet, and her quilting. And so this is actually in Chicago. It is called the Quilted Scarecrow, and this is the pattern. It's available as paper and PDF, and it uses oatmeal 25 count. It's the bigger piece, so when you order it at Fat Quarter Shop, you need the 18 by 27 inch piece. And she stitched this on, Cheryl stitched it for us on the modeled side. So when you look at this oatmeal fabric, one side is plain and one side is modeled. I will be stitching this as part of Stitchtober. And you guys remember had that big, huge skirt. So I think this one's going to be easier, and I think probably what I'll do, I think I'm going to start at the top center at his hat, and then I think I'll go down, do his arms, and then from there I can kind of either go down or up. It'll kind of give me a solid base, and so I'll probably stitch, you know, a couple of leaves each day and then a little bit of the little scarecrow. So let me know what you guys think of this. I will be bringing it back to show it to you in person, and then if you follow us on social media, you'll want to follow both channels, Fat Quarter Shop and FQS Cross Stitch, and we will be posting pictures of this in the booth, and so you can see how Lori decorates with it. It's really cute, and I love the pants. Those are just regular cross stitches that make it look like a back stitch, but it's not really a back stitch, but really cute. And if you wanted to make the scarecrow a girl, you could change maybe the shirt instead of gray to do pink. That would be really cute, like a pink gingham. So, you know, you could definitely change it up a little bit. So what you need is you need the pattern, either paper or PDF, the fabric, which we're using oatmeal, and then you need your thread, and the thread is just DMC, so super affordable. And that's Lori's new piece. And then I'm going to show you something that we're just kind of teasing right now. We have the supplies, but we're not ready to go all the way into it, so I'm going to give you some details. We do have the supplies. This is our Spooky and Sweet Mystery Quilt Along. This will be a completely free pattern that will come out later. The pattern's not available yet. We put together a thread pack. Sorry. I just dropped it. Sorry, the enamel needle minder was right here and it flew off. I'm sorry. So the thread pack, we have the thread pack available. It has all classic colorworks except one pink, and that's because we really wanted the pink to match perfectly. And then Brittany designed a really cute needle minder. And then we're stitching this on the charcoal dyed effect by Fabric Flair. So if you think you're going to stitch this, we have the fabric, the needle minder, and the thread. But the pattern will not be available until later in the summer, and our supply list and all of this finishing information here will come out in May. It coordinates with the free pattern that goes live in the summer, and so we're going to wait and release all of that later. So this is kind of just a tease. Really cute. And this, if you wanted like a little hint, can't really see it, this is the whiteboard we have. We painted it black. Brittany painted it. So more information to come. We just kind of wanted to show it to you. So that is Spooky and Sweet. And then I have been stitching, and just keep dropping your questions in. I will definitely answer them. I'm going to show you all of my stitch along and then do now this is a hot mess, and I'm going to tell you why. Okay. It's not ironed or anything. I just finished this last night. So this is monthly weigh-in April. And I'm in the club. So this I stitched on Monaco, the tea dyed. And I'm stitching each month. I probably won't stitch October just because October is usually Halloween, and that's the only, I don't decorate for Halloween, I decorate for fall. So I'll do all 11 except, you know, the one. But I wanted to talk in detail about the changes I made. And I don't know if I love my changes, but I'm going to talk in detail about what I did. So Jordan's going to zoom into this one and we'll just talk through what I did. Now, when I look at this piece, I'm going to remember that I was very stressed out when I made this piece because of all the changes I made. So his eyes are supposed to be French knots or colonial knots. I did 2 strands over 1 square on top of the gray stitches and made tiny X's. So those are an X over 1 over 1 instead of 2 over 2. Now on my bunnies, I made my bunnies Thundercloud. And the reason I made it Thundercloud is because that is the gray that was used in the rabbit's word swap. So Denise was like, oh, that'll match. So I did that. Another thing I did is in the flowers, the little white dots are supposed to be black, but I changed them to white. So I think, let's see, I'm just kind of looking over my notes. So that's the change I made there. Now I'm going to show you this piece, and it has a major mistake, which is the reason I'm going to tell you that I was, okay, there, that's good. I was super stressed out making this. Okay, so on this one, obviously, instead of the bunnies being black coffee, I made them Thundercloud. I did the same thing with the eyes, where it's just one little tiny X. And then in the flowers, instead of black dots, right here, I made them white. And there's a mistake. So I'm gonna let you guys see if you can figure out the mistake and kind of look through some questions. But on this Monaco 25 count, I stitched 2 strands over 2 squares except for the eyes. And that's because I just wanted to do, I thought my little tiny X's looked better than a French knot. And then I didn't make any changes here. At what point do you put buttons on cross stitch? How are they attached? So I usually put them on at the end, and we have some videos on how to do that on our quilting channel. If you look at the Just Another Button Company videos, and I can do some videos on that in the future. But nobody has seen my mistake yet. It is a hot mess express, and I am just super, let's see. Yeah, nobody has seen it. Okay, so I'll tell you. So right here, this is supposed to be a blue bowl with 2 rows of white and then another row of blue. Well, I just did the bottom and then I thought I was done. So when I picked it back up, I forgot, oh, I still have 3 rows to do. By the time I figured that out, I had already stitched all of this, like almost all of it. And I was not gonna pull all those stitches out. So what I decided to do was, and we're gonna zoom in more, I decided to just outline. Let me get a needle. And this is where, okay, so I decided to do a back stitch all the way around all of the X's right there to make it white. And then it really didn't stand out enough. So I did a half stitch on top of my cross stitches so it kind of looked white from far away, and then I wouldn't have to pull all my stitches out. Now I did leave all my flowers the same color. It was only the white that I changed within the flowers. And this was kind of one of those things where I on this pattern, especially in this part, I think it's really helpful to use some type of magnet. So I used the line keeper to put on my pattern and, you know, just keep it where it was going. And I remember when I left, this fell off. So when I came back, I just thought, I just, you know, just forgot where I was at. So if I would have, you know, paid more attention, but I was kind of stitching this on and off and on and off, and that's kind of what happens. But I think it looks fine. Jordan said it looks fine. Another thing I did to make it work also is because this went down 3 rows, if I would have left the sign exactly where it was, I would have had a lot of space here. So I shortened the sign down. So my stitch count is actually 3 off, or 2 or 3 off, but that's okay. So I just kind of adjusted, and I don't think anybody will know. And I do all the back stitches at the end, and it kind of looks funny up close, but in person I think it looks fine, and once it's stitched it'll be fine. I did do all of my whiskers and this Smyrna stitch last, so that is that. Now I'm going to show you what I'm going to work on this weekend. The Daisies word swap is going to be one of my next items. And what I wanted to show you was, I brought this in and I put it right next to the rabbits piece. And then I looked at exactly the distance here, and I started just right here. So then I know, you know, that mine will be similar when the rabbits and the daisies are next to each other. They'll look very similar. So that's super exciting. And then I wanted to show you, there's this picture that I saw last night that I loved. It's by Mary Miller. This was posted in the Stitching with the Housewives Facebook group, and I love her finishing. So what she did is she has like a double tiered tray. She decorated the top and the bottom. I think what she did is just sewed 2 fabrics together and then pulled that back on a board. But I think that is so cute. And so I just thought, since I thought it was cute, I thought you guys might like it. And then you could always go in that group and ask Mary any questions. I don't know her or anything. I just thought it was really cute. The Smyrna stitch, I have a video on our channel that Cheryl's done. I do the Smyrnas a little bit different, but we've done a video on that. Okay. This is going to be the piece that takes me forever and ever, but I love stitching on this 18 count. It's 18 count, right? I really enjoy it. It's 1 strand over 1 square. I do have to always have some type of magnifying glasses, whether it's these, Lori's, my Omega, my, what's that thing I have in my car? Halo Go. I have to have something to be able to see. Okay, so this is actually was supposed to be March, and then I was supposed to be here for April. My life got out of control. So now we're going to say January, February, April. And then we're going to go May, June, July. So I got this one done. And this is the House is on Pumpkin Lane. This is pattern 1, 2, and 3. And then this part that I'm outlining right here is part of the border pattern. And you can get that on the Pansy Patch Quilts website. So one thing that I thought of when I was stitching this, it's a lot of start and stop. So obviously I did this. I stitched this at a basketball game. And then I stitched this just over, like, it took me about 2 weeks. But you know, you stitch here and you just change colors a lot. So what I decided was best was I would stitch a couple of these, start the house, and as I needed a color in here, I would stitch down here and just kind of do these as I go. But one thing I noticed is when you do these, look, 1, okay, right here, these, and these, This one's different, of course. But when you do these and these and these three are the same. 1, 2, 3, 4. So one thing I thought is before I start the next one, I'm going to go through and do like a star here, 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 and here. And then I'm going to go in and do as many, as much as I can on these borders just to kind of have a little bit going. The fabric that I used here is Vintage Country Mocha, 18 count, and it's a really big piece. It's the 36 by 42, and it's that same piece where one side is solid and one side is modeled. And then the back, I've carried some of the threads over. Kind of depends what kind of mood I'm in. I don't ever carry the black though. Like these darker colors, I wouldn't carry those. And then this one I definitely will have framed. I'm thinking a frame similar. I actually think the frame, can you pop up that picture, Jordan, that Lori picked on the Quilted Scarecrow? I think that frame would look really good on this piece. It's a little wide, but I'm going to, that's what I have in mind for framing this one. And I know it looks good with the fabric because this is actually the same fabric. It's a different colored piece. So this is actually Vintage Country Mocha or Oatmeal. They're the same. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. So this took quite a bit. It took me, I don't know, at least 2 weeks. And I think it's because it's just so much start and stop, but I really enjoy switching between 14 count, 18 count, Monaco, black, Monaco tea-dyed. It's kind of given me a little bit of variety. And this one, I did forget to say, this is, I did a color change and I color pack. So that's what I'm using to stitch this one. And on this one, I usually have 2 needles. The reason why is I lose needles all the time. It drives Kevin crazy. It's probably the only thing that he gets frustrated with me about. But if I'm at a basketball game, I might lose a needle. I might. But you know, people wear shoes there. So I always have 2, just in case. And then I got this started last Friday. This is Shelf Life April, designed by Brittany. Okay. So I wanted to show you, oh, right there. I was like, did I stitch something wrong? So this one doesn't take very long at all. This one is so cute. It's probably my favorite one. So this is the one, who stitched this one? Denise? Cheryl. Okay, so Cheryl stitched this one. Oh, here's the little magnet. So it's interchangeable, and we have a video on how to do that. Okay, so one tip I wanted to give you on this is what I did, because I've only worked on this for 2 different days. I outlined the gray, then I filled in all the gray and left the white open. And then I outlined the white all the way here. And when I do that, I only do a half stitch. In case I make a mistake, if I have to pull that out, I won't have to pull the whole thing out. I'll just have to pull out half of the stitches. So I outlined here. And then I did the outline of the pink boot. I did all of the whites, the light blues, the dark blues. And then now all I have to do is right here, this is a DMC aqua, and this is a gray. So all I have to do is fill that in. The April pattern of this shipped to members last week or a week or two. It's been about 2 weeks, and this is now online for everybody. So hopefully I got your question answered. And so yeah, and then what I have to do, I'm probably just gonna do, I saved this because this weekend, I can talk more about it later, but I'm gonna be sitting in the car about 8 hours, no joke. And I'm gonna just fill this in. It'll just be straight stitching, and I might go sideways, I might go up and down. It'll depend what kind of mood I'm in. But this one is so cute, and I can't wait to get it finished. So this one hasn't taken very long at all. And this needle right here I'm using is the Bowen 28. I can tell you that Lori has some new needles coming out, and Lori Holt, and the size 28, I've also been using that. So those are the two that I'm using on here. The longer one is Bowen and the shorter one is Lori's. Lori's are gonna come out sometime in the summer. And I will say that right here, I poke my finger a lot doing the Bowen, but the Monaco is just harder to get your needle in the hole. Oh, this is funny. Roberta says I almost like it left black instead of filling it in. That's actually a good idea. I might do that. Maybe not. Brittany might get mad at me. I definitely have to do the gray though, but that's actually a pretty good idea.
That is.
That's a really good idea. Kay says, Kimberly, you keep me motivated to try new things and keep on stitching. This community has been a huge blessing to me since I lost my BFF to cancer. I'm so sorry for your loss. Okay, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll do that.
You can.
We'll see.
Just fill in the lid.
Yeah, I'd have to fill in the lid. Okay, now this I also started yesterday. So yesterday I was busy. I was sewing a quilt. I sewed some quilt blocks, and I all did it at work. And I did all of this, and it was only an hour. So if you're in the Sayings of the Season 2024 Quarterly Cross Stitch Club by Stitching with the Housewives, this is your sneak peek for the needle minder, the bag, and part of the piece. So I'm going to make sure I don't. Okay, so I just stitched that. It took me an hour, maybe two, but I did it yesterday. I started it like at 3 o'clock yesterday. And this one is the Lori needle, I can tell because it's shorter. So if you guys want, I am definitely gonna be stitching this. I'm gonna go up and then this way and this way. If you want me to tease more, I can show you more next week. If you want it to, sorry, I have hiccups. If you want me to keep it a secret, I can just keep it a secret until it ships to you. Either way, I'm going to be stitching it this weekend. So it's really cute. And if you sign up now, you'll start with the summer. We do have some spring left over. And I'll just keep showing you as I stitch. And then Cheryl stitched something. She stitched the Spring Quaker pattern by Primrose Cottage Stitches. And she used fabric from her stash. It says Spindrift 36 count. She's using the called for floss, which is Classic Colorworks Blooming Crocus. Is that, did I say that right, Jordan?
What?
Blooming Crocus? It's on the back of the pattern. Do you think that's how you say it? He said yes, I don't know. So, really cute. And I don't even like purple, and I like that. It's really, really cute. And then I'm going to show you some new things, and then I'm going to answer a bunch of questions and show you some fun pictures. So Daisy Bloom came out today. This is the pattern Daisy Bloom, and then inside here I can tell you the bonus pattern says Oopsie Daisy. And this is going to be the only pattern this week for Stitching with the Housewives. They're going to go back to doing 2 patterns next week. We got some new patterns by Erin Elizabeth, Lavender Honey, Blooming Vase, Cat Tear, Winter Berry Trio, Words of Holly Hill. Okay, this one I absolutely love, and I think I'm going to stitch it this summer, so Denise is going to add it to my list. American Flag. And this, let me look at it real quick. This doesn't have any stitching, this white right here. So when you pick your fabric, you would need to pick something that's pretty white. So the stitching is just the red and the blue. Stitchy Tier, Baking Tier, Pumpkin Lane Sampler. This one's really cute. Church on Holly Hill, Lavender. This is a really cute finishing. Spring Blooms, Quack Quack Honk, and Stars and Stripes, and this one's really cute too. So, okay, so that's what we have. So now I'm going to go through questions and just kind of see if there's anything I haven't answered. Good morning from Chicago. I would love to meet Lori in person. Can anyone attend the H&H show? So the H&H show is only 4 stores, and it is a store, it's a show that started in Germany years and years ago. I've always wanted to go, and it's moved, there's some in the US now once a year, and it's more of a yarn show, or that's how it started out, more of a yarn, cross-stitch, tapestry, embroidery type thing. And then they moved into quilting and other things. So I'm gonna go, I'm not gonna have any appointments. I'm just gonna go and look around, and we'll have lots of cute reels and cute stuff. She will be there, but it's only, I don't know how you get a badge, but I know it's just for stores. And I do know that in her booth, when I show pictures, it will have crochet. She has started a brand new granny circle along type thing, so she's gonna have a lot of that in her booth. And she's gonna have the crow in the corn, and then the Quilted Scarecrow cross stitch and quilt. It will be in the booth. Can you buy charcoal dyed effect in yardage? No, you might be able to on Fabric Flair's website. We don't sell it that way, but they might, I'm not sure. But I would go to Fabric Flair's website and look. When I use 25 count, do I stitch 2/2? I do. Question not related to a pattern. Will the larger cuts, like 36 by 55 linens and 36 and 40 counts, example fox and rabbit salt brush, ever be cut into smaller pieces for sale? As of now, no, that's not something that sells great for us. So as of now, we're not going to cut any of that down. It's also surged. That might be something we change our mind in the future. Glinda says, okay, first of all, Glinda has a pug and she's cute. Have you and your team thought about having a fat quarter club for Priscilla and Chelsea's fabrics? They don't produce enough fabric to be able to do a club, and the reason, like for a club, you have to have a certain amount come out each time, and right now, they just don't have enough fabric. But we do sell fat quarters and half yards of all their pieces. When will Susan Aki's Enchanted Floss be available? It says May 2024. With Ara Floss, it comes from Italy, so it just kind of shows up, if that makes sense. We don't get a tracking number. Like if we bought something from America, we would know closer, because we would get a tracking when it ships. We'd be able to track it from UPS, and I could tell you. Since it's coming from Italy, it kind of just shows up. Am I doing Stitch Mania? I'm not. I'm still going to do Stitchtober, and I'm still going to do the Christmas, the Jolly July, and I'm still going to do patriotic stitching. So this year, I have a ton of stuff to do. I'm going to talk about it next, but with my kids' schedule this year, I couldn't add anything. Nana's Legacy said, I just watched Erin's video on the lavender pattern. So cute. Are Erin's charts in color? They're black and white. Are you going to do a dragon fruit cross stitch? We weren't planning on it. Do you go through the entire X to make your stitches white stitches? Okay. Do you go through the entire X to make your white stitches flatter? I railroad to make white stitches flatter. I love using the pin stitch for the areas of many colored changes. Saves me so much floss. Yeah, that's great. And I just haven't mastered that, and I haven't figured it out, and I've tried it and it's just not for me. How is Piggy? Okay, so now I'm going to show you some different photos. So I'm going to just kind of show you some pictures of my kids, my dog, talk a little bit about what's going on in my life. So this is Emma is in the white in the center. I'm on the right, and then one of my really good friends is on the left. She is the mom of one of the girls in there. So Emma is now 17. That was her birthday party, and she's all grown up. She's going to be a senior next year, and I'm the treasurer of the drill team, and so this weekend is their big show. So I will be at the high school Friday night. Saturday, basically, I bring the money, they sell the flowers, I pick up the money, I set up their phones to have Square and all that stuff. So I will be in and out, and I'm just going to kind of sit there. And then obviously I'm going to go to one of the shows. I don't know which one. But those are all of Emma's friends. And then this is a couple weeks ago. That's how I look at the end of every day. So we went to, this is Will, so he's my oldest twin. He is 14, and we went to see Wicked. Now, that is one of those, I did it for my kid. I cannot stand musicals. I was like the whole time, like, get me out of here. This is the worst thing I've ever, I just cannot. The whole thing, I don't get it. I didn't understand it. It was something about Wizard of Oz. Since I've never seen Wizard of Oz, I was confused the whole time. He loved it. Well, as you can see, it's freezing. It was like 50 degrees. I got out of that show, and in Austin, you know, there's not a lot of parking options in Austin. So I parked pretty far away because it was only, I think it was $15 or $20, which is cheap. I mean, for Austin, that's great. I got in a rickshaw, and it drove us to our car, and he had so much fun. He was like, this is like the best thing ever. And I was like, oh my God, we just need to get out of the cold. But that's definitely one where I would say I was taking one for the team, because I am not into musicals in any way. It's because I'm not artistic like that. I don't get it. And so when we were done, he had to explain the whole thing to me. I was like, I don't even understand it. Where was Dorothy? He had to explain the whole thing to me. And I was like, how? He's so smart. And then the next photo is he got first place in music memory on UIL. So that's so awesome. 8th grade. So excited. And I could never do that either, because basically we would play him the music on Spotify, and you had to know the name of the song and the conductor or the artist or whatever, and it's like Beethoven. I don't know. It's all out of my league. And then my younger twin is Peyton. This is him trying out a chair. Who knows what we were doing. That's at Home Goods. But I don't have any, he doesn't let me take pictures often at all. He will not do a picture with me. So the next photo is him playing basketball. He's number 22. He's pretty tall. He's as tall as Kevin, so he's about 6'1". Pretty tall, but he will not take a picture with me. He is just anti-picture. And then he's playing basketball. And yeah, he's playing basketball. Oh, and he and Christopher just won 7-on-7 championships. So Peyton won in 8th grade, and then Christopher won in 6th grade. And so the next photo is Christopher at one of his basketball games. And that is a photo of his hair. So he is 13, and he wanted a buzz cut, and I let him get a buzz cut. And that is a month after. Let me tell you, when he got the buzz cut, he was basically almost bald. So yeah, he's hilarious. And then that white thing that's on his leg, I don't know. I think it's for decoration. I'm serious. I don't even know what that's for. And then the next photo is Piggy. So that's Piggy when I take him to daycare. So when I take him to daycare, he sits on a little towel, and then he tries to get me to pet him the whole way, and people always stare. It's so funny. But he's so spoiled. He got in trouble at daycare. I don't know if I've told this story on this channel, but he got in trouble at daycare, and he cannot get along with another dog that's also male. That is what did I say? French bulldog or something. And so when everything gets excited, they started fighting. They didn't bite, but they were just causing ruckus. And so one day they told us, oh, he might not be able to come every day anymore. He might need to go only on certain days because of this other dog. So then I was like, okay. So I didn't take him for like a week because I didn't know what to do. And I know it's from his cancer treatment. So ever since he got his cancer treatment, he's like very, He's just like very irritable. He barks all the time because he had radiation for like, I think 6 weeks. So he's definitely like more sensitive and ornery, much more ornery, does not listen, just definitely different. And the lady was like, oh, he's totally different since he got all that treatment. So anyway, I didn't take him for a week because I didn't know what to do, and I was actually kind of embarrassed. Anyway, the owner of the other dog, it's a much bigger dog, and they said, oh, we don't mind. He can just go in the big dog room when Piggy comes. So poor Piggy, when he goes, he can be in one room, but then if he goes, the other dog gets kicked out of another room. So funny. So I'm going to go through and look at some questions. Do I sell the pink polka dot ribbon to finish shelf life? We have on the back of the pattern where you can get that and the SKU number. We do not sell it though, but it is on the pattern. I can show it to you. This is what it looks like, but we don't sell it. We got it somewhere, Hobby Lobby, and the info's on the pattern. Okay, let me see the other stuff. Okay, thank you for sharing your photos. Poor Piggy. I love you sharing your life. I try to do it at the end. I've just been super busy, and I've just like a lot of little things I got a flat tire on Monday on the way to work. Like lots of little small things are just irritating me. Like, okay, I had a tire warranty on this car. 2 of the tires were busted by Kevin a while back. I have had 5 flat tires in that car because we drive through so much construction. So we live really far from work, 45 minutes. I mean, and that means without traffic, 45 minutes without traffic. And so Monday I was driving to work, and it was super early, and I was like, if you're in Austin and you know where Oak Hill is, I go through Oak Hill every morning. Oh my gosh, that's like a nightmare because it's all construction. They're trying to do overpasses, and I think I ran over something like this big. It's like a bolt. Like, I don't know what it was. It was from some type of machine. And so immediately my tire goes flat. So immediately I am not good with technology. Ask anyone in this room. So my car starts, it's like all high tech. It starts giving me all this stuff. Your tire has been busted. Your tailgate is open, all this stuff. So I called Kevin. Okay, Kevin, I love him, but he does not answer the phone. He doesn't answer the phone for me. He doesn't answer the phone for his parents. He doesn't answer his phone ever. He's just not connected to his phone. He's not ignoring us. He doesn't have his ringer on. He doesn't, like, you know how some people are like glued to their phone? He's not. The only time he's glued to a phone is if like NBA or college football is on. That's it. Otherwise, he's not on it. He's not on social media. So he's not looking at like TikTok. He has none of that. So I'm driving and I'm thinking, okay, I got to figure out how to get to the car dealership. And I got to figure out if I get a flat, what am I going to do? Like if I can't get to the dealership on this flat. Anyway, it all worked out. But that's only like a little bit. Like I messed up a sewing machine, I messed up an iron, just all these little things keep happening. And I'm just trying to like laugh about it. And like this weekend, my kids, Emma has 3 shows, which is great. I don't mind. But then Christopher was like, oh, I'm going to be in San Antonio all weekend. I'm like, what? They haven't even, it's Wednesday. Today or tomorrow they'll announce the times of the games. Well, then I'm going to have Christopher in another city, Peyton here, no one to drive Peyton anywhere because Emma can't drive him. Because anyway, it's like, and then there's they have to do 2 band solos on Saturday, but we haven't scheduled it because I got to figure out like Christopher and Peyton's basketball times. They're on 2 different teams. They're obviously 2 different ages anyway, and they're never at the same place. So anyway, I got a lot going on. I'm just trying to keep it together. But yeah, this morning I had to text Kevin and I was like, we kind of need to figure out their solos and just kind of everywhere. So I've been stitching a tiny bit less, but I do have a life, so I'm trying to like manage everything. About a week ago, you were using a stick picker. Where can I order it? At Back Quarter Shop. I'll show it to you. So these are 2 things I use a lot. This is the Floss Fairy. And this is like, you might have seen like on Reddit or if you read cross stitch boards, it's basically a mascara brush. But if you frog something, you just do this and you have to kind of get your threads out. So I always have this in my car. And then this is called the Unstitcher by Lori Holt, and it's a it's basically a needle that's super unbendable. I don't want to say unbendable ever, but if you're ever frogging and you're using a thin needle, it will bend. All my needles bend. Whatever brand it is, doesn't matter. My needles always end up bending, always, and I always end up throwing them away. That's when I throw them away. So this Unstitcher will kind of help you save needles. Okay, so that's what I have, guys. I'll be back next week. Thank you so much for watching. Of course, if you have any questions on any of the pieces I showed, we would love to answer them. We're gonna have a giveaway. We're gonna give away 3 of the Quilted Scarecrow patterns. To enter, you're gonna comment after the video finishes and tell me, are you gonna start that piece now? Or are you gonna wait and stitch with me in Stitchtober? And then you have until Tuesday, April 30th to answer that question. And then Ashley will pick winners on May 1st. And then she announces the winners in the community tab of this channel. And if you subscribe to the channel, and then if you click that little top bell, then you will always see when she posts the winners. I hope all of you have a great day, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.